Captain Bucky Goldman here, Bag'em Fishing Charters, Tampa, Florida FishingGuide.com. I saw a post the other day about this kid who was saying all he is doing is getting wind knots, and is he a bad fisherman? LOL. Well, yes, you're a bad fisherman, and I don't know what to do. May God have mercy on your soul. No, I'm just kidding. Wind knots are a part of fishing, and some of the main reasons why I'm going to go over why you get wind knots. The number one reason is what causes wind knot is a change of line speed. So you got line coming off faster than slower, and you get an overlap a line, and it causes a wind knot. The main reason is uneven level on your spool. So it'll either be heavy on the top and it'll spool up like this, or it'll be heavy on the bottom. And when that's causing is you're casting, the stuff that's spooled up heavy is going off faster than the stuff that's going on level or that's thinner on the top. So the way to adjust that is, excuse me, you have these little washers on your spindle right here. If you can see them, let me see. You can raise or lower your spool on the reel to adjust for your line. Every box should have a little bag. Every box of your reel box should have a little bag that has extra washers. So if the line is spooling up too heavy on the bottom, that means your reel is too high up. You're going to have to remove a washer to lower that spool down to level it. You may have to do one or two, and vice versa. If it's spooling too heavy on the top, your reel's too low, and you're going to have to add a washer or two. And what I end up doing is, if it doesn't spool right, I'll tie it to a tree or something, walk as far as I can out, change the washer levels, higher or lower, whichever one I need, and I'll reel it back on and see if it starts reeling on a nice and level. That's your number one reason why you're getting it. And again, it's caused from a change in line speed. Another reason is tension on your line. If you're spooling it on, it's spooled on high, tighter on one section, and then the next section's looser, the next section's tighter. Then when you're coming off, the looser stuff comes off faster than the rest stuff that's wound tight on your spool. So what you get issues with that is like fishing your jig, where you're jigging it and then you're reeling slack, and you're jigging it, and if you're jigging it and you're reeling constantly, when you're jigging it and reeling, you're putting it on tighter. When you're reeling down, when it's paused, you're reeling, it's looser on your spool. So you get that issue as well. You do a big old moon cast and it come falling down, and you're reeling up all that slack until your line gets tight, and then it's tight on your spool. You have that loose line on your reel. Then the next cast you go to whip it, and you get this big old wind knot. So it will depend on your artificial retrieve as well. Like as line twist is another reason. If you have like a spoon, you're fishing with a spoon. Spoons are meant to wobble one way, and then they wobble back the other way. If your spoon is spinning around in circles, it's either foul hooked, or you're spinning it on too tight, or you're reeling it too fast. So some of the other reasons are like your knots, where you have your leader line knot, your main line to your leader line. When you're clicking that knot, if it's too big or it's going past too long and it's passing through your guides, every time that you cast down and it's clicking through those guides, it's slowing the line down a little bit. So I try not to fish with too long of a leader. I mean, you can minimize it by doing a thin diameter knot, such as like an FG knot, if you really want a long leader. But again, every time a knot clicks through one of those guides, it's slowing down your spool, but it's also weakening your knot. So another thing is, when you are fishing and you go to cast and you cast your line out and you whip that all the way down, when you're done, manually flip it over. I see people clicking it like this, and when they click it like that, they're not paying attention, and it causes a loop to come over the top of your line, of your spool. So then you throw it out, and it's going out fast, and then all of a sudden it has a slack, and it gets over the spool, and it changes your line speed, and it causes a big mess. But it can also catch this. And what it does is it catches it and it pulls out your guts. So now you have line coming out here, line coming out on the top. It's a big old mess. It you can lose tons of line that way. And if you know, braid's not cheap. So that's one of the main reasons as well that I see happening. Another thing is if you have a real sensitive tip and you're whipping it and that rod tip is oscillating back and forth, every time it's whipping, it's pulling it and slack. So it's slack when it comes to the middle. So that is causing the line to change speeds too. That can also cause it. Casting into the wind, when you cast into the wind, you cast, the wind will slow down your lure, your line's going out fast, end over end, overlapping, wind knot. New braid will sometimes needs a break-in period, and a lot of times you gotta just add some extra tension by, again, what I do is tie it on a tree, walk across the big field here, and re-spool it on nice and tight, make sure it's level. But every reel, I'm gonna tell you this, has like a baseball bat, a sweet spot. And no matter, even though the line says it can handle that capacity of line, there's a certain point where you spool it all the way up, you cast, and you're gonna lose 50 yards of line until you hit the sweet spot, and then you won't get any more wind knots. They do have sweet spots, you know, not everything is, they're machine made, but they're not all perfect. Anyways, I hope that helps you all with reducing your wind knots so you have a smoother day on the water. Again, Captain Bucky Goldman, Bag 'em Fishing Charters, TampaFloridaFishingGuide.com. You all have a great day. Thank you. Bye.